You're live. Hi, I'm Haris Malik. Same one. Thanks a lot. I just want to talk about myself. I like myself, and I haven't always acted like I like myself. So I just want to talk about myself. I don't want to sell any products. I just want to talk about myself. What do I mean to myself? What does me mean to me? I think I'm going to listen to music, put on some Spotify, and talk with that because, but then maybe I'll get too much of the audience exposure, like, oh, too many people viewing me. Tune into this artist's like very intimate words. Life is about growth, right? Nah, I don't think I want music. I want to be real. You know, people say raw, RAW, the word raw. Is that not the same thing as real? What is raw? It's a raw metal. Sound like a nut, man. But I'm hopeful because some things add up to where it signals me that God is guiding me. I pray, man. I pray. I do pray. Excuse me. I guess I did say Alhamdulillah, which means all praises belong to God. Now, what is the purpose of being a human being? Is to worship God. Is to say, God, whatever you're doing, you're right. And who is God? We've never met God. We don't know God, not personally. Nobody's met God. Well, if nobody's met God and you're supposed to just suddenly like find these hidden, invisible hints that God is there, then what kind of system is this that we're living inside? Now, I am somebody, I'm 37, 38, and I'm from Pakistan. And it seems to me that my my consciousness itself is waking up over time. And I'm looking down because not ready to face it yet, all of it. Not I'm not able to face people's comments on it. Am I ready? I guess as ready as I'll ever be. I woke up this morning feeling glad that I'm alive, that I get another chance, get another shot, and try to make it a little bit better. That's yeah, I woke up with that this morning. I do think energy is able to change people, and energy, um, not like hippie energy, like smoke weed, light incense, not like that. However, those do count. It brings people together, and it's kind of like sinful to do all that. And it brings people together. I think sin was meant to make people bring together in the name of God. Because if you think about it, you call a sin, right? You call it a sin because it's something you regret. And when you regret it, who are you going to turn to? If you feel sorry for something you did, but nobody's a victim, well, then you have to think of God because there's no other capacity to hold that train of thought. Um, do I consider myself devout? I do not. Not under any circumstance will I claim myself to be devout. I would agree that I'm devout, but I wouldn't claim it. This is sort of like a therapy session, but like, the world can see it. So it's like social therapy. Uh, I do get kind of like hopeful and vibey and happy after the end of these vlogs. So I guess that makes it worth it for me. There's a lot of things like maybe this vlog can't even be publicized because I'm vaping on it because I'm using nicotine, which is legal. Um, it's not for under 18 or under 21, I guess. I'm way past that. I've had time to. I've had time to rethink of what I lived many times. I didn't get to choose much, but I did get to relive it a lot. That's been my experience in life. Didn't get to choose it, but I got to relive it. Now let me swear by something, if I may. I don't like to swear about my healing. So, like, I'm putting it forth. Like, let's see what my healing has amounted to. Let's see what it's all worth right now. And I, I'm able to more than not conceptualize how or agree with it or accept it that that what happened to me when I was a kid was not my fault. Until yesterday, I guess, I don't fully buy that it wasn't my fault. And I've learned about it over and over. And when I've talked to people, they chalk it up as, why are you being so absurd? Of course it's not your fault. And that way it doesn't really click in. Um, that's not like a guiding kind of like a phrase or emotion. People sort of blame me that I'm dumb for not knowing that it's not my fault. And that doesn't allow the emotional stuff to register. Like, it doesn't allow me to process that it's not my fault. Nobody's been able to be kind enough and tell an adult that what happened to you as a child was not your fault. There's a part of being an adult, I think everybody makes mistakes. That's what makes us an adult. But some people don't get to make mistakes and they're still considered adults. There's all sorts of stuff happening in the world, man. So I am one of those. I never got to fully like grow. I was still in my early ages, and the growth was snatched from me by my babysitter. And then I was made to face the world with this new identity without the middle steps, and they didn't exist. They didn't exist. The middle steps never developed. I'm still developing those. How to care for someone with something you have. I don't know that. I don't know how to care for anyone with something that I have. I know how to give it away. I don't know how to care for them with it. I don't have that much patience. Um, Never developed. It's a stage by stage process. It's not a whammy like quick hit fix. Like life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Yet I was bred to or raised or yeah raised with the sense to think that life is a sprint, not a marathon. It's a sprint. That's what I was raised with. I have very much a loving family who I emotionally hate because my emotionals are wrong. Um, but the cliff that I climbed out of, I guess I'm still climbing out of it because I haven't made a source of living yet or an income source in life yet. As a male, if you don't have that, that means you don't belong in society. That's my view. Well, if you're capable and you don't do it, you don't belong. I guess if you're not capable, then who can blame you, right? But I'm sort of in the middle. Like, I'm capable of certain things and I'm not of the others. I very much want to improve. Very much want to improve in life. My main motivator is my wife. She has a perfectly healthy nervous system, never been traumatized. And I feel very, very gifted and glad to be able to, have her as my wife. Someone who has a healthy, normal way of seeing things in life. Wonder what that experience is like. It's probably super boring if you're not excited, but you have all your faculties working at all times. You're not emotionally numb to part of life itself. Yeah, I do sometimes wish I had that. But what do I have now? In comparison to a healthy nervous system, I have what you could call like an overclocked CPU. Yeah, overclocked CPU is what I have. My amygdala has been um, exposed to so much threat and danger. It's like a muscle now. It's strong. It's made for war, army general stuff. I could probably make some split second decisions about the lives of like platoons if other lives are at stake too, and if safety is something that's in danger. I could be held up to something like that. Would I want to do that? No, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to take responsibility for another life. Uh, Not like a kill or die sense. I suppose I took on responsibility for a life when I got married, right? Yeah, but I barely got married. was a hellish experience. I was about to pass out multiple times. Didn't understand what was happening. I disagreed with it, uh, but I ultimately did agree. They asked me enough. They set it up, but ultimately I agreed. I had to. The guy was like, "Yes or no," so I agreed, and I agreed with my deepest identity. That's the only way to do it. I'm not trying to get fake married. I agreed with my deepest identity, and that identity has God in it. I feel. I may not be God, dude. I may just be some other dude who's crazy, who's been babbling so long, for so long. But my real identity does include God existing. It does. That's part of my identity. Where do you go with that? Say if you were trying to play a game of Counter Strike, how would you express your main identity, which includes God existing? Because when you have God existing, it sets a higher bar of success, of execution, of performance, everything. When you say God exists, then that means there's no limits. There's no limits. Um, yeah. However, if you say God does not exist, there are limits. There's like, oh, you were so good. That's the limit. If you cross that, they can start to annoy you, and it's understood. But if God exists, is the premises, then you can't annoy anyone in their success. You can't bother people because it's like, well, take it up with God. He made me. That's why I'm so good. Take it up with God. Um, so belief or religion itself sets a higher premise for success, sets the critical point of reaching too much success or like having enough, having done enough, sets that bar way further down the line. And that's something people don't realize is I'm here to tell you. Of course you don't realize. Of course I'm the first one to say it. Of course God gave me that honor. Yeah, faith sets a much higher ceiling for success. Hmm, I'm going to post that. Faith sets a much higher ceiling for success as compared to non belief. The mere reasoning of God made me, that's why I'm so good, can keep you going in your sleep. But when people interact with you too much, as a non believer, they get to decide how you take in your success. And that's the difference. I would presume faith sets a much higher ceiling for success as compared to non belief. The mere reasoning of God made me, that's why I'm so good, can keep you going in your sleep. But when people interact with you too much as a non believer, They get to decide how you take in your success. That's the difference, I would presume. Well, Allah Akbar. It's good. Good said. I'm gonna post that. Let me rethink about it if I am to post it, because this is text. This is not like a video or speech where it's personal. Text is public, you know? It's text. Faith sets a much higher ceiling for success as compared to non belief. The mere reasoning of God made me. That's why I'm so good. It can keep you going in your sleep. But when people interact with you too much as a non believer, they get to decide how you take in your success. That's the difference, I would presume. That's good enough. I can post that. Cool. Good stuff. All right, so I made a social post. I kind of updated the world, or anyone that wants to look. I guess that's the world. Anyone wants to look, that's they can. That's the world. I updated social status. Um, I got coffee. I guess I am hungry, but I usually don't eat much in the morning. Try to eat a good meal like lunchtime. I don't know. I just don't feel like eating right now. I don't. I am hungry though, but I don't feel like eating. I feel like it won't. Feel like it'll just like make me like feel like I ate too much. It won't really be nourishing. I feel it'll be energizing, but not nourishing. Hmm. I feel there is a difference between being energized by food and being nourished by food. Nourish, I would say, is much more thorough. Energize is quick. Probably partially upsets your stomach, but it gets the ATP going and all that energy processes. So yeah, 22 minutes. Wow. I've streamed for 22 minutes and about 40 seconds now. How do I feel about that? Vape some dojo. Dojo. Well, as long as I keep taking my medicine, I will be able to view my brain from a third person perspective, and analyze my trauma deeper and deeper, and hopefully come to a point where I don't see social interaction as such a danger, and I can hopefully the flip the script. I can hopefully change my narrative enough and make it healthy enough and grounded enough and wholesome and just more encompassing that I'll feel better about being taken care of by my family, and I'll begin to build a healthy self image, and then I will be healthy enough to present myself in job interviews and not be so freaked out and scared and hyperventilating. Like if I just genuinely present myself, if I can do that, I think I'd be able to work at a good place. Like I don't know, 50, 60K starting, I guess. Because I'm very analytical, I'm very intelligent, and I am a super hard worker. I've had to learn how to work hard in my life. I wasn't given the chance to la la diddy around. I wasn't. I was snatched. Um, I was snatched of that chance. It's the way God intended. I was able to find God in a much deeper sense because of that. So I am thankful. Ultimately, I always will be thankful. I don't care what pain you go through. Success is success. Um, But if you ground it in God and you hope to get something out of it from God Himself, who created you with a purpose, and you fulfill that purpose and you get some like personal gain, that's where it's at. Yeah. Well, what I've said today is something new. I've never heard of it before. That faith gives you a higher success ceiling. I've never heard of that before. And so that's very new for me as well. And even though I've been the one to say it first. Feels good. Feels good to say that. But I feel like the way I'll be able to absorb it fully is how people think of it, how people act on it, and stuff like that. Dang, I'm getting hungry. Probably should play some Counter Strike. It offsets hunger a bit, and people, when they sense you're in pain, they're like more hesitant to win against you, I guess. It is a video game, right? Video game. Editing videos. I'm physically hungry, not at a peaceful spot in every sense, but I have all that I need. Like, I have a pretty healthy belly right now. I don't think I need a lot of calories to just survive. Um, Food is nice though. Food gets you good energy, makes you feel all right. Maybe it's unhealthy that I'm not eating. I should eat. Probably should. I feel really happy about waking up to my trauma a little bit more. Felt that thunder, mountain thunder, or whatever that was. Um, it felt like a rip in my consciousness, and it was gray. It was like a zigzag rip in my consciousness from the working plateau. So I had like a working memory, like I'm in my brain. I don't feel anything abnormal. I'm talking to my wife, having a good conversation, and she brings up work, like, "Hey, you gonna work or not?" or something like that. I think she says something like, "I hope you have good luck with your work, like job." And that set off something in me, like, "Oh, I can't work." And then I started thinking, like, do I want to be someone who can't work, who doesn't want to work? No, I'm not someone who doesn't want to work. I would love to have a job. Love, love that shit. I would savor it, put everything I have into it. But I can't do that right now. As much as I want to. Sad. Very sad, first of all. It alienates me from society. It means if I'm hungry, there's no one I can talk to about that because I don't work. That's why I don't deserve, like, I can eat. Yeah. I don't feel deserving of food because I don't work. So there is food available in the refrigerator, but like when I look at it, I don't feel deserving of consuming it because my sister, my brother-in-law, they work hard. I can't work hard. I work hard in my own ways. I try hard. I don't work hard. I try hard. I try real hard to survive, to make meaning, to to be happy, to live, man, to be a part of life. I try. I do try. It's not that I don't try. I do try. It's just not many options were given to me. Like childhood is like money. You start out with it. You start out with like $1 million. Well, I was left with $3, right? Uh, Everyone starts out with $1 million that doesn't get attacked as a child in a human society by like a rabid, deranged, nonsense, manic people. Well, if you get attacked like that by a rabid, um, demented person, you get robbed of your $1 million as a child. And you have no trust bank. You have no trust fund. You don't trust people. You don't grow. You don't try new things. You just stay put. It's very sad. It is sad. It's very sad. I've tried a lot for myself in my life. I remember crying to Creed, 6 Feet Under, listening to that song over and over, and then wondering, like, why me? Why do I have to be 6 feet under? Why does that song hit me so hard? Is this just all about me? And if so, where's anything? Where's the attention? Where's what I'm thinking is true coming to life? And all those questions, man. $3 out of $1 million. That's what I started out with. I guess I have other things to look up to. Or, yeah, look up to. Um, I had no worries of hunger. My parents didn't let me go hungry ever. Uh, Clothes, schooling, they paid for it all. We had all the supplies. Whatever's needed, they paid the bills. My parents did that. And that should not go short, right? So, yes, my parents trusted somebody within their family who they could never have imagined would do something like that to their child. But it's part of reality. That's what happened. And I sort of like resented them for a long time. I feel like deep in my heart, like subconsciously, like not knowing why I'm angry at them, but like still being angry at them, things like that. I guess I have held that grudge, which is natural for any child. Like I was in your house, mom and dad. What happened? Why me? Why? What did I do wrong? That thought comes up a lot. What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? No, no, not where. What? Like, give me the instant. Give me the start of that. What did I do wrong? Where's my fault? So I can swear by it, own up to it, and live by it, right? Defending my wrongs. That's what I see other people doing. That's what they've formed a personality out of, what they did wrong. They're like, well, I did it. It's me. And it gives you a sense of personality, sense of yourself, being able to sin. I'm getting hungry. Okay, I think I've vented enough.